So let's talk about Gemini. What if I told you that you're probably using one of the most powerful AI tools on the planet completely wrong? Yeah, most people are, and they are missing out on its absolute superpowers. So let's dive in and fix that. Quick question for you. Do your prompts for Google's Gemini look exactly like the ones you use for ChatGPT? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. But that right there, that's the heart of the problem. It's kind of like trying to drive a Formula One car the same way you drive your family station wagon. And by doing that, you're leaving its most game-changing, most powerful features just completely untapped. We're talking about capabilities that, frankly, other models just can't even come close to matching. It all starts with this number, 1 million. So what does this actually mean? Well, it's the key. It's the key to the very first superpower we are going to unlock today. Just let that sink in for a second. 1 million. Okay, so why don't those old, familiar prompts work as well here? Well, it's because they were designed for a totally different kind of engine. See, Gemini's whole architecture is built around two core strengths that those generic prompts completely, totally ignore. And this brings us to this new idea, Gemini Optimization. It's a whole different way of thinking about and writing your prompts. It's all about consciously and deliberately building your requests to leverage two specific things: that absolutely massive context window and its native ability to understand different kinds of media all at once. All right, let's start with that first superpower, the context window. And I need you to understand this is not just some small, incremental improvement. No way. This forces a complete and total shift in how we think about giving information to an AI. And this slide, I mean, wow, it really just shows you the insane scale of the difference. Look at this. You've got GPT-4 Turbo down here at 128,000 tokens. Claude 3.5, very impressive at 200,000. And then you have Gemini 1.5 Pro just towering over them with over 1 million. It's not just in a different league, it is playing a completely different sport. So what does that number actually mean in the real world? It means we're talking about feeding it an entire software project, a 700-page novel, or the full transcript of a 3-hour movie, all in one go. And it doesn't just read it. It actually understands the complex relationships between the beginning, the middle, and the end of all that material. Now, here's where it gets really interesting when you combine that first superpower with its second one. You see, Gemini wasn't just trained on text. It was designed from the ground up to be natively multimodal. And that is a really crucial distinction. Think of it this way. A lot of other AI models, they kind of have to use separate tools to see an image and then describe that image in text for the main AI to understand. Gemini doesn't need that translation step. It processes the text, the images, the audio, the video, all of it simultaneously in the same prompt, and it understands the deep connections between them. It is literally seeing the picture and reading the words at the exact same time. So that's the theory. It sounds pretty amazing, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's look at some direct, side-by-side comparisons to see just how these optimized prompts generate massively better results. Okay, on the left, you've got a typical everyday prompt. It's like asking a master architect to review a single brick. The feedback you get is going to be pretty limited. But now, look at the right. This is Gemini Optimization. We give it the role of an expert. And more importantly, we give it the entire 50,000 token code base. We're not asking it to check one brick. We're asking it to review the entire skyscraper. And the difference in the output is just staggering. The generic prompt, it might find a few surface-level bugs, maybe a typo. The optimized prompt delivers a professional-grade architectural review. It finds deep security flaws that only exist because of how different files interact with each other, something that's literally impossible to see when you're only looking at one file in isolation. Let's see this again, but this time with multimodality. The generic prompt on the left, what's in this image, gets a generic answer. It's a dashboard. Totally useless, right? But on the right, we give Gemini an expert role and a structured framework. We're asking it to think like a designer. And the result is a world apart. The optimized prompt gives you back a report that a human expert would create. It finds critical details, like the color contrast ratios being too low for accessibility. And it provides a prioritized list of specific fixes. It's not just a description anymore, it's a full-on consultation. So, how can you start doing this right now?
The good news is, it really just boils down to a simple 3-step playbook that you can start using immediately.
And the crucial thing here is to follow these 3 steps every single time. First, you assign a role. Tell it who it should be. You are an expert security engineer. Second, you give it everything. Stop summarizing. Use that entire million token window, give it the whole shebang. And third, you act as the director. Tell it exactly how you want the output formatted. Provide a markdown report with an executive summary. And that means avoiding these really common pitfalls. The biggest one by far is using tiny little prompts for a model that's built to handle massive ones. You're bringing a teaspoon to the ocean. Don't just ask it to describe an image, ask it to analyze it. And always, always, always tell it how you want the final answer structured. A little bit of effort upfront saves a huge amount of time and frustration later. This shift from asking small questions to conducting these massive, context-rich analyses, it opens up entirely new possibilities. So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you have the ability to analyze an entire book or a whole software project in a single prompt, what's a task that seemed completely impossible yesterday that is now within your reach?